Welcome back to Lee Tuca Review, the place where every heartbeat, every story, and every emotion of Lee Tuchien's world comes alive. If you love heartfelt moments, deep connections, and stories that touch the soul, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Today, let's dive into one of the most beautiful chapters yet, a journey of love music and the miracle of new life with Jack and Tuchien. Jack and Tuchien's journey into parenthood began with a quiet, beautiful promise, a promise to love, to nurture, and to grow together as a family. From the very first moment they discovered a tiny heartbeat inside her, their world shifted. Every whisper, every sweet melody they played wasn't just sound, it was love wrapping their baby in warmth even before birth. And then one miraculous day, the baby responded, a tiny kick, a flutter, as if to say, "I hear you, Mom. I hear you, Dad." It was a moment they would never forget, a memory forever etched into their hearts. The honeymoon was over, but love was far from fading. The romantic strolls along the beach, the golden sunsets hand in hand, now they were precious memories, soft and golden in the scrapbook of their minds. What lay ahead was something far greater, the beautiful chaos of building a real family together. There were responsibilities, preparations, and late-night talks about their future. And above it all, the anticipation of welcoming the little soul that was growing inside Tuchien, the pure crystallization of their love. One bright morning, Jack rearranged his busy work schedule to take his wife to a prenatal education class. He wanted to be there every step of the way. As they walked into the spacious, softly lit room, music floated gently through the air, creating an almost sacred calm. Tuchien placed her hands tenderly over her belly, her heart steady, her smile serene. Jack sat close, his gaze never leaving her, his eyes reflecting a mixture of devotion and excitement. The instructor began with a warm smile, explaining the importance of prenatal education. It wasn't just about the baby's intellectual and emotional development in the womb. It was about building a bridge of love, a bond so strong that the baby would feel it long before entering the world. Jack squeezed Tuchien's hand, feeling the weight of those words settle in his chest. It was more than education. It was connection. Prenatal education, as they learned, wasn't complicated. It was a collection of small, simple acts done with patience, intention, and love. Music was the first step. Gentle tunes, soothing lullabies, even whispered words of comfort, all of these could nurture their little one. Jack imagined those quiet evenings, his guitar in hand, serenading his wife and child under the soft glow of the living room light. Even though their baby hadn't been born yet, Jack believed every note would somehow touch their child's tiny growing soul. Words and emotions were just as powerful. Reading stories aloud, sharing tender thoughts, even a few minutes of gentle conversation each day could help their baby feel loved and safe. Tuchien pictured herself lying on her side at night, whispering softly, "My love, today your parents worked hard. Are you happy with us?" Simple words yet so full of meaning, wrapping their baby in the warmth of family. Movement was another key. Gentle walks in the park, simple yoga poses to keep her body healthy and relaxed. Jack made a quiet promise to himself that day, no more letting her walk alone. Every step, every slow afternoon stroll together would be a memory of connection and care. And of course, nutrition played its part. Every meal now carried a purpose to nourish not just Tuchien, but the little one growing stronger every day. Jack, who had never been much of a cook, found himself carefully slicing vegetables, trying new recipes recommended by the doctor. Each dish, whether perfectly seasoned or not, carried the same ingredient, love. But above all, they learned peace of mind mattered most. A calm, happy mother meant a calm, happy baby. Jack knew then that his role wasn't just to provide, it was to protect her joy. He quietly took on more of the burdens at home, creating a space where she could laugh more, worry less, and simply be. When the class ended, Jack helped his wife to her feet. They exchanged a look, a simple glance that said everything. Life after the honeymoon would be busy, yes, but it would also be fuller, richer, anchored in the quiet joy of preparing for their baby together. The very next morning, sunlight spilled into their bedroom, painting the walls in soft gold. Tu-Chien woke in Jack's arms, the sound of birds singing in the garden. She smiled, hand resting instinctively on her growing belly. Today, she thought, would be the start of something new. After a light breakfast, Jack picked up his guitar and stepped out onto the porch. The morning air was crisp, the light warm. As the first notes rang out, a quiet magic filled the space. Tu-Chien sat beside him, closing her eyes, feeling the vibrations in her body, and then a gentle flutter. A small kick, as if their baby was dancing along. She laughed, whispering softly, "Do you hear that, my love? Daddy's playing just for you." In that moment, the three of them spoke the language of love, a language only they could understand. Later that day, after some rest, Tu-Chien opened her favorite childhood storybook. She read aloud, her voice calm and melodic, filling the room with warmth. Jack sat close, chiming in with playful voices during the story, making her laugh. They both knew the baby couldn't understand the words, but that didn't matter. What mattered was the feeling, the love that wrapped around their little family. At lunch, Jack rolled up his sleeves and disappeared into the kitchen, determined to make something special. That afternoon, the table was filled with colors and aromas: salmon with orange sauce, a hearty vegetable soup, a bowl of oatmeal with fresh fruit and yogurt. When he placed the plate in front of her, he smiled shyly. "This is for you, both of you." Tu-Chien's heart swelled. Every bite tasted like love. As the sun began to set, they walked hand in hand through the park, the pathway scattered with yellow leaves. Each step was slow, unhurried, as if time itself had paused to honor their moment. Later, back at home, they practiced simple yoga poses together. Jack's clumsy attempts had Tu-Chien laughing until her cheeks hurt, their home echoing with warmth and joy. Evenings were their quiet time. They would sit on the bed, the soft glow of the bedside lamp illuminating the pages of a small diary Jack had started. Day 1, he wrote carefully. Mom and Dad played music, read stories, shared meals, and walked together. And you, little one, listened and smiled with us. Tu-Chien leaned on his shoulder, eyes glistening with gratitude. "I'm so happy," she whispered. And Jack, wrapping an arm around her, answered softly, "Me too. Sleep well, my loves." Days turned into weeks. Prenatal education became a rhythm, a ritual, not a task, but a gift they gave each other. One evening, Jack brought home a set of beautifully illustrated fairy tales. They read together, each story becoming a bridge connecting their present with the future they dreamed of. One night, when he played gentle Mozart melodies on the guitar, their baby responded a strong, unmistakable kick that sent both parents into delighted laughter. And then 1 month passed. Jack surprised Tu-Chien with a handmade photo album, carefully filled with snapshots of their journey. Reading sessions, park walks, home-cooked meals, quiet smiles. On every page, a note: the moment you first kicked, the meal Dad made with love, the story Mom read just for you. Tears filled her eyes as she hugged the album to her chest. "Our baby," she whispered, "is so lucky to have a father like you." Jack, overcome, could only smile, placing his hand gently over hers, feeling the quiet miracle of the life they had created. At night, with the house silent and the world asleep, they wrote in the baby's diary, "After 1 month of this journey, we've learned so much. But more than anything, we've learned that love's simple quiet. Love is what makes a family."